Hi folks, I'm Duncan and I'd like to welcome you to my latest YouTube channel blog. Today I'll be talking about the Beatles film and album A Hard Day's Night. Um, I'm a little bit unhappy because I ordered the new Bob Spicer book. He's a very good Beatle historian, and he has published a number of books, and his latest one is about A Hard Day's Night, and I've ordered it from his website. I've got it's signed by him, and it's come over to the over from the States to the UK, and thanks to an appalling delivery service who shall remain nameless, I have not got it yet. They say they've had three failed attempts, and I've been out. They couldn't get into the communal hallway like everybody. Even we've got an election at the moment. Even the Liberal SDP guy got in through the tradesman's communal entrance, but this guy seems incapable of being able to do that. He's called three times and said, it's this is the third and last time it's being delivered. So I've phoned the company up several times, and I've got them hopefully to deliver it at a newsagent, so about 3 miles from where I live. I don't know whether they've delivered it, but just annoying, really. But not the end of the world. Well, it will be if it's damaged, but I remain hopeful. Anyway, today's the 6th of July, and today is the 60th anniversary of the UK world premiere of the film A Hard Day's Night, the 6th of July. The album had already been out in the States for nearly 2 weeks. This is the American version of the album on CD. It's very different from the British one, I presume, an European version. So then we got some stills of the lads on the back, because what it is, it's the 7 songs from the album, plus one song from side two, which are the songs that didn't appear in the film, and the songs are interspersed between orchestrations that appeared in the film, done by the George Martin Orchestra. George Martin, of course, needing no introduction. He was their producer for the whole of their career, and it's nice that he hopefully made a bit. So he did very tasteful versions of Beatles songs, including a lovely version, I think, of "This Boy," which is. I presume that it's he did all of the all the musical numbers on the film. I haven't had enough time to research everything about the film. Now, the film came out as I say, on the 6th of July. The album in the UK and the single from A Hard Day's Night, the title track, would come out on the 10th of July, and they already had the Beatles smash hit from earlier in the year, "Can't Buy Me Love," which was I think it was the last of three of a hat trick of million selling singles in the UK. A Hard Day's Night single did very well. It sold about 750,000 copies, which meant it went gold, but it didn't quite achieve platinum status. That's basically because it wasn't a standalone single. It would come straight from the album, and lots of people were buying the album and not buying the not buying the single as well. Although a lot of fans do buy all the formats. Sorry, I don't think I've given this shown this properly, have I? I can't remember. I'm so stressed out about the Beatles book that that's the cover from the UK, and of course there was a wonderful poster with Wilfred Bramble, who plays Sir Paul's incredibly difficult grandfather in one of I think the whole where George's head is got his head is back to us. and then a very nice some more stills of the boys, and I think it's Tony Barrow who did the blurb all about the album. And I think it was Tony Barrow. I can't even see because my eyes are so, well, he's just so tired. It was either Tony Barrow or Derek Taylor. Uh, yeah, it was Tony Barrow, because he did a fantastic job with the Please Please Me album as well. Uh, the film is very, very enjoyable. I don't want to spoil the plot, although there isn't a great deal of plot. It's sort of like a Jane Austen in that respect. But it's basically 48 hours in the life of the Beatles, and they get around all over the place. They're known to be cheeky, but not unpleasant. They all of them have their, well, George has his own scene. Ringo has his own scene, and John has his own scene. Paul had his own scene, but fortunately it ended up on the cutting room floor. The girl, it was with a girl, and the girl was she was, I can't remember her name offhand, but she received a very gracious phone call from director Dick Lester saying, "I'm terribly sorry, but your scene isn't going to be in the final print." And she thanked him for phoning her, because a lot of people wouldn't have done that. She also got roughed up by some Paul McCartney fans for being in the film with Paul. So I'm afraid that really was suffering for art. But Paul shines in the film anyway, so no harm done at all. All four of the boys shine. There are some wonderful performances from... there's a guy called Norm, who's their sort of basically their manager. He's played by Norman Rossinger. And the Sheikh is played by John, I think it's John Jarkin, and they are the two people who suffer at the hands of the Beatles not sort of running off, going places, and they're not trying to, they don't know where they can find them. Victor Spinetti has the most wonderful part as a paranoid film sort of paranoid television producer, and the boys took a shining to Victor. He was in Help and Magical Mystery Tour, and John wrote a play with him. So they really got on with him and really took to him. He was a very fine actor, a little bit offbeat, a lot of his work, but very, very enjoyable and very rewarding to watch him. And there was also, I think, Derek Nimmer appeared in a cameo. David Langton, who went on to fame as Richard Bellamy in Upstairs, Downstairs. The music is fantastic. The songs are, well, Can't Be Buy Me Love, as we know, a Hard Day's Night title track. I Should Have Known Better. If I Fell, which is just gorgeous. And I'm Happy Just to Dance With You, which is sung by George and written by John. George was writing a composition at the time called You'll Know What to Do, but in the end he abandoned it. I think it was worth carrying on with, but that didn't happen. Then we've got, I think it's Tell Me Why, and I think, oh yes, and the beautiful Paul McCartney ballad, And I Love Her. And then we had the two B-sides of the two Hard Day's Night singles, Things We Said Today and You Can't Do That, which came from B-side of Can't Buy Me Love, plus four other tracks to make up the B-side, or not the B-side, side two of the British and European release. Those songs, I think it's four of them, would appear as an EP in the States, so that all the tracks did see the light of day. And one of them, I think it's I I'll Cry Instead has another verse, I believe. But the film was going to be. It was made in black and white, and it was incredibly cheap, even for a British film. It cost £189,000 to make. They haven't converted the book where I had into. I mean, we got the profits in dollars rather than sterling, but I've tried to work it out as best I can. The movie made a profit of about £4 million worldwide. Not bad for £189,000 picture. In America, more prints were struck up for this movie than any other movie in the history of American cinema to that date. Obviously, they found a home for every print. So that was a bit of film history. United Artists, whose label the American album comes out on, wanted the Beatles to be dubbed in mid American accents. Brian Epstein put his foot down and said no way. And Paul McCartney got very, very angry and said, "Look, if we're expected to watch loads of westerns with people talking with Texas accents, then what's wrong with them listening to us with our Liverpudlian accents?" And the soundtrack stayed the same. Obviously, it was dubbed in other countries, or probably subtitled in France, dubbed in Germany, I'm sure. But the movie, it's a happy movie. It's young people. Life is exciting, adventurous. Nothing can go wrong. Except Ringo has a wonderful part where he's basically got an inferiority complex, and he's played on by, which is not helped by Wilfrid Bramble, who plays Paul's grandfather, who's nothing but trouble. And Ringo goes out, tries something well-meaning, but it's taken the wrong way. He gets arrested. He's in the police station with Derek Guyler, who is a greatly loved British character actor, and he says to Derek Guyler, "Yo, who I am? I'm Ringo." And Derek Guyler replies, "That's what they all say, sir." Anyhow, there's an escape made from the police station, and Ringo gets back at the theatre just before the concert. I won't spoil anything else because I don't want to spoil it for you. Many of you probably haven't even seen the film yet. I had a Disney release, a Buena Vista release, a number of years ago, which was quite a good effort. It had lovely documentary. It was made with quite a lot of tender loving care. The Blu-ray version I've got at the moment, we haven't had a proper Blu-ray version released. It's one from Germany, with lots of language options. It's just nice to see it in Blu-ray, but surely with the 60th anniversary, a deluxe edition could come out, certainly this year, with One for Help next year, I guess. But I'm just trying to think, was there anything else that really touched me in the film? No, the fact that they all shine superbly, and they don't cloud each other either. The lads, and it was a smash hit all around the world. Great stuff. And then a few days later, of course, we got the album and the single. And George, although he doesn't have his own song in the film, his beautiful guitar work, on a lot of it on his 12-string Rickenbacker guitar, just goes right through the album beautifully. So Um, Richard Lester, who'd only directed one feature film earlier, I think it was was it the Mass on the Moon? Uh, it did his career a world of good, and he would direct the second Beatles film, Help, and make a number of very well received movies during the 60s. One of them, uh, How I Won the War, with John Lennon in a sort of in a solo role without the other Beatles, just basically because he was the Beatles are taking a big break, and he wanted something to do. And apparently, he wrote Strawberry Fields while he was on the set of How I Won the War. So, as I say, that it really was that the Beatles were at the top of their game. The film was great, and the music was just fabulous. Their best album to date, I think, one of their best albums ever. Uh, the world is reputed to have said these are the best songwriters since Schubert. And the Beatles are at the top of their game from an instrumental point of view, composer point of view. As I say, the only thing missing is is a couple of tracks from George, but that will be rectified on the Help album and the Rubber Soul album, which would be out the next year. So do get a. It was shown a few days ago in the UK, Hard Day's Night. Hopefully it'll be shown a number of times, but do catch it if you can. Uh, the It was voted by the BFI as the 88th greatest British film of all time. Not quite sure how they worked that one out, but and of course after the success of A Hard Day's Night, which I might add borrows a little bit from a film made in 1956 called Rock Around the Clock with Bill Haley and the Comets, which is a very enjoyable film as well. And Hard Day's Night's not a copy of it, but it's done in that same vein. And after that, lots of people wanted to make movies. Freddie and the Dreamers made three, I think. Jerry and the Pacemakers did a Ferry Across the Mersey, which had Tony Masters, my friend, as art director on the film. And then, of course, there's the Dave Clark Five with Catch Us If You Can, a cinema film that started John Borman's directorial career. So do catch A Hard Day's Night if you can, and then catch the Dave Clark Five film, because that's quite good. And I haven't seen Ferry Across the Mersey, but if it's got Jerry and the Pacemakers in it and Cilla Black as well, it must be worth viewing. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little thing. So I couldn't show you the book because it's still in the post. But look at Bruce Spizer's website, because Spizer spelled Spizer, Bruce Spizer. Or you can find it. I think a lot of his books are on Amazon and available. Well worth having a look at him if you haven't already. So if you like this and you haven't signed up for this YouTube channel, please do. If you click the like button, that would be lovely. If you'd like to forward it to a friend, that would be great as well. Anyway, as I say, do watch A Hard Day's Night and listen to them, and get the album and see the film. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Oh, it hasn't stopped. Stop, you horrible thing.